Hi boys and girls, today is Thursday and we are ready for chapter 49 in The Wild Robot Escapes. Today I had to try 2 times to record because the first time my husband and son were outside working on this old Corvette that we have, and it was getting kind of loud in the office. So I had to stop, and now we're going to try again now that they're done working on the car. So here we go, chapter 49, The Goodbyes. Maybe I'll take you for a tour out to the driveway and show you the old Corvette when we get done. Okay, that evening was full of sad goodbyes. The first goodbye was between the flock and their young leader. The other geese wanted to help Roz and Brightbill get home. But the journey would be dangerous, and Brightbill refused to put his flock at risk. He demanded they return to the island without him. The geese could feel their instincts urging them onward, and they knew Roz and Brightbill would look after each other, so they said their goodbyes and took off into the night sky. The next goodbye was between the robot and the cows. Roz marched into the pasture one last time as the herd gathered around. "I guess this is it," said the robot. "Thank you for all being so kind to me." Annabelle sniffled and said, "I really hate goodbyes, but I'm glad you're going home where you belong. I just wish there was some way I could be helpful." "Actually, there is something you can do." Roz unsnapped a pocket of her tool belt and took out the transmitter. "You can hold on to this for me. Hopefully it will take a few days for Mr. Sharif to realize I am gone." Annabelle smiled as the robot gently tucked the small device under her collar. Lily and the other calves suddenly swarmed around Roz and nuzzled her legs. They all had tears in their eyes. Tess wanted to lighten the mood, but she couldn't think of anything funny to say. The other cows called out to their friend, "We'll miss you, Roz. Get home safely. Don't forget about us." Roz waved to the herd. She said a silent goodbye to all the farm machines parked in the shed. Then she followed the driveway out to the fields with Brightbill on her shoulder and the children at her side. The last goodbye was the hardest of all. Everyone was quiet as they walked through the silvery moonlight, past rows and rows of sprouting crops and out to the farthest corner of the farthest field. Roz turned and faced Jaya and Jad. She looked past them, back to the distant lights of the farm buildings. "I have prepared the farm for my departure," said Roz. "It will take care of itself for a while, but not forever." "We can manage things, at least until we get another robot," said Jad. "This place won't be the same without you, but we'll be okay." "What will you tell your father?" said Roz. "That's for us to worry about," said Jaya. "You just worry about getting home." Roz glanced down at the tool belt strapped across her chest. "Would you like this back?" "No, we would not," said Jad. "It was a gift just for you," said Jaya. The girl pulled her brother and her robot into a big, tight hug. Beneath the sounds of the crickets were the sounds of the children crying. "How will we know you've made it home?" said Jad. "We need to know how your story ends," said Jaya. The robot muttered some animal words to her son and then said to the children, "If a goose ever visits this farm and presents you with a feather, you will know that I am home." The children smiled through their tears and waited for their friends to leave, but the robot didn't move. More than anything, Roz wanted to go home, and yet she was conflicted. She cared about this family and this farm, and now she was abandoning them. The robot lurched forward, then backward again and again, as her computer brain struggled with all of these thoughts and feelings. Finally, the children gave her the gentle push she needed. "Roz, we order you to run away." And the robot did as she was told. And there's a cute picture. Chapter 50, The Free Robot. At long last, Roz was free, but as she ran away from Hilltop Farm, she didn't feel free. She felt something more like fear. She feared being seen and captured and destroyed. She feared for her son's safety, so Roz camouflaged herself. She avoided the fields and kept to the trees, and with Bright Bill as her guide, she carefully crept north through farm country. The wild robot's long journey home had begun. Chapter 51, The Airship. The sun was up and our friends were on the move. They were traveling quickly and quietly along a narrow strip of forest that cut between vast crop fields. If not for that nagging fear of being spotted, it would have been a very pleasant hike. Wind whispered through the leaves, insects hummed and chirped, farm machines rumbled in the distance, and then there came a new sound, a buzzing sound. Our friends hid in the underbrush as an airship rose up from the horizon ahead of them. It was a sleek white triangle, flying low and fast. Roz adjusted her vision and saw familiar robots gazing out the front window. Rico 1, Rico 2, and Rico 3 had been destroyed back on the island. Perhaps these robots were Ricos 4, 5, and 6. They're flying toward Hilltop Farm, said Bright Bill. We need to keep moving, said Roz. The airship disappeared to the south, and the travelers continued north at a faster pace. They hurried through more strips of forest, passing squirrels and birds and groundhogs and other friendly creatures. But the robot and the goose had no time to chat. Later that day, the trees came to an abrupt end. Roz and Bright Bill stood at the forest edge and faced an ocean of wheat. The wheat was still young and green. It gently waved in the wind and spread out as far as they could see. What should we do? Asked Bright Bill. We need to keep moving, said Roz, staring across the plains. But I am not safe in the open. There must be more trees out there somewhere. I'll take a look, said Bright Bill, and the goose launched himself skyward. Up, up, up he went, high into the air, until he finally stopped and floated, just a tiny winged shape against the blue, and then he dove back to his mother. There are trees in that direction, said Bright Bill, pointing. It's far, about 30 minutes at top speed. Then we had better get started, said Roz. Our friends burst out from the underbrush, the robot sprinting through the field, the goose flying by her side. Roz had to concentrate to keep from slipping in the soft, muddy soil. But she stomped on, and far ahead, another line of trees slowly climbed into view. Bright Bill suddenly swooped up and out of sight as his mother kept running. Then he lowered back down beside her and squawked, "The airship is returning!" Behind them, a tiny white triangle rose up from the horizon. It was growing larger and louder by the second. If Roz was seen, her newfound freedom and her life would be over. She couldn't take any chances. "Go on without me," hollered the robot, and she dropped to the ground. Bright Bill hoped his mother knew what she was doing, and he flew on without her. Once he reached the trees, he perched himself on a branch and looked back. His mother had vanished. The airship, however, seemed to fill the sky. Its shadow flitted across the ground where Roz had just been. But the ship didn't see her, and it detected no electronic signal, so it kept going, racing above the trees and over the next field. Its engine noise gradually faded, and it disappeared to the north. "You can come out, Ma," squawked Bright Bill from his branch. A column of wheat stood up in the field. The robot had rushed her camouflage, and it crumpled off her body when she started to march. As she approached the trees, Roz looked at Bright Bill in the branches and said, "We need to keep moving." And that's where we're going to stop today, boys and girls. Tomorrow will be chapter 52, The Scout. Okay, so today, in 365 Days of Wonder, I love today's quote. And it says, "You can complain because roses have thorns, or you can be grateful because thorn bushes have roses." See, it's all in how you think about things, boys and girls. Always think positively. Keep those good thoughts in your head. Rose bushes are beautiful, even with those thorns. Okay, I didn't have any jokes from students today, so I'm going to my handy dandy joke book. And today's joke is, why did the grape go to bed? Why did the grape go to bed? It ran out of juice. It ran out of juice. So, boys and girls, let's go on a tour. Let's see if I can do this. I'm not good at walking and talking. We'll go see what Mr. Williams is doing outside with the car. Hang on. Okay, let me turn the camera. We're gonna go out the front door. Say hi, Mr. Williams.
Hi.
I was showing my students the car that was making all the noise.
First video?
Yes. Now we're on take 2. All right, boys and girls. That's all for today. Let's switch the video back. Mwah. Have a great day, boys and girls.